Good afternoon to one and all. I am Ansar Sheikh from St. Peter's Engineering College, Triple Department. Here I am going to discuss about stability analysis. In this, we are going to discuss about the introduction of an stability, what is meant by an stability, when the system is stable, when the system is unstable, when the system is critically stable and conditionally stable, and what is meant by a relative stability, how the roots will be going to be located on the S plane for stable and unstable system. Routh's stability criterion. What is meant by a Routh stability criterion? What are the different cases and conditions present in the Routh's criterion? And the numerical problems also we are going to discuss in this lecture. Here now, what are the main objectives of this lecture is nothing but we can appreciate the importance of the stability, we can analyze the different types of stability, we can apply the Routh's criterion for stability analysis and to solve the numericals. Here, how you are going to define the concept of an stability is nothing but concept of stability. To know the concept of stability, here I am considering just an cone example. When the system is stable means and when the system is marginally stable and when the system is unstable. Whenever if you are taking a cone and you are doing like that, then definitely it will be going to be a stand. So that particular type of system we call it as a stable system, and it will be going to be a false like this, that we call it as a marginally stable. In the third case, it is not possible to turn that to place that cone like that. In that particular case, it will be an unstable system. How you are going to define the stability of the system? Whenever I am telling a system is unstable, then it will be having a bounded input. For bounded input, the output must be bounded. The response of the system is bounded and controllable. That means it will not going to be for example, bounded input, whatever the limits in input, within the limits of that input only the output will be present, then only the system is stable, otherwise the system is unstable. In the absence of inputs, the output tends to 0 as time increases. In the absence of the inputs, the output should be tends to 0 as time increases. In this case, here I am taking second order transfer function, and the second order graph I am drawing, that is a bounded response. What is meant by a bounded response is nothing but bounded. For a bounded input, the output must be bounded. Here, whenever the bounded input you are having a location of the poles will be on the right half of S plane. Bounded input. Here, if the poles location of roots in the left half of S plane, in this case all the poles will be on the left half of S plane, so that the system is stable. A linear time invariant system comes under the class of unstable system if the system is excited by a bounded input, responses is unbounded, but it is not in the limits. If it will be going to be unbounded, then the system is unstable. This means once any input is given, system output goes on increasing and designer does not have any control on it. Unstable system, according to mathematical calculations, if the roots are on the right half of S plane, then the system is unstable, and that is an unbounded situation. Critically stable. How you are going to critically stable? Define the critically stable is when the input is given to a linear time invariant system. For critically stable system, the output does not are interfacing infinitely not does it go to 0 as time increases. The output usually oscillates in a finite range of remains steady at some value. Always critically stable is nothing but it will be going to be an oscillates in between the some values. Such systems are not stable as their response does not decay to zero. The response of the system may not be rocket to zero, or it will not going to be an increase. It will be going to be an oscillating. Neither they are defined as an unstable because their output does not go increasing infinitely. Conditionally stable. If the output bounded input for a bounded input and bounded output response for critical stable system, if the location of the poles is on the on the imaginary axis, then we can call it as an that is that we then that we call it as an a critically stable. Now, relative stability is nothing but a system may be an absolute stability that it may have passed the Routh stability test. As a result, their response decays to zero under zero input conditions. The ratio at which the decay to zero is important to check the concern to relative stability. How we are going to define a relative stability is nothing but when the poles are located far away from the j omega axis in LHS of plane, response decays to zero much faster as compared to the pole to the j omega axis. The more the poles are located from away from the j omega axis, the more the system is relative stability. Here relative stability is just the response comparison. Location of poles. Here the cross mark indicates that poles. In this case, all the poles are complex conjugate and that particular poles are present in the left half of S plane so that the system is unstable. Here also the two poles are in the relative stability improves as an moves away from j omega axis. If it will be going to be an if the poles and zeros will be going to be an away from the j omega axis, then the relative stability improves as one moves away from the j omega axis. Routh stability criteria. To find the Routh stability criteria, we can write that basic equation C of S is equal to B naught into S power M. Like this we are going to write. After that we are going to consider Routh array or constructing an characteristic equation that it will be comes from the denominator A naught S power N plus A1 S power N minus 1 plus N swan plus N equal to 0. From that how you are going to write down the coefficient of S power n and then you need to write down the coefficient of S power n minus 1. Here what is the coefficient of S power n? A naught. After that all even coefficients, even power coefficients we need to write down. In the second row odd coefficients, odd power coefficients we have to write down. In the third letter or third word or in a third row, how you are going to get a1 into a2 minus a0 into a3 divided by a1 into a2 minus a0 into a3 whole divided by a1. Please concentrate. b1 it here it is wrong. You just go through an a1 and a2 minus a3 into a0 whole divided by a1, and the second term is a3 into a6 and a7 into a4 divided by 2 divided by a1 like that we need to write down. Here all b2 is a1 into a4 minus a0 into a5 by a1 like that we are writing. Similarly, you need to write down b1, b2 values also. That means an c1. c1 is equal to b1 is equal to a1, a2 into minus a3, b1, b2, b3 like that we are going to write down. And next, similarly, you need to write down for c1. C2 and C3 also. C1 is equal to B1 into B3, B1 into A3 minus B2 into A1 divided by C1. C2 is equal to B1 into A5 minus B3 into A1 divided by B1. Like that we are going to write down all that elements. Now the thing is, you need to identify the when the system is stable, when the system is unstable by using a Routh stability criteria. In the first column of an Routh array, if there is no sign change in the first column of an Routh array, then the system is an stable. Then the system is an stable. Here I am showing that the necessary and sufficient condition for a system to be stable is all terms in the first column at arrays at Routh's array surrounded have the same sign. That must be either a positive or it may be a negative. If it is positive and negative, there will be a sign change in the first column, then the system will not be a stable. Here in this case, the system is a stable. Why? Because there is no sign change in the first column. For example, in this case, we are having an in the first column A0, A1, A3 minus B1. That means how many sign changes are there? A3 to minus B1 and minus B1 to C1. That means two sign changes are there. So that two sign changes are there. So that the system is unstable. Here I am writing considering a simple example of an s cube 6s square plus 12s plus 18 8. Then you need to write down what are the coefficient of s cube, what are the coefficient of s square. Once if you are going to find out s1 and s2, after opening the by writing the first column, after calculating the all columns, then you need to find out